We've disconnected from nature. We don't see it as something that we live alongside. We see it as something to use. So I decided that a life's work, and it's in my journal here in the show in 1983, I did a paragraph where I said I'm going to focus on our relationship between nature and the human impact on nature. Coming from Canada, I was in these places in the far north and probably looking at the shorelines of lakes and things as they may have been seen 10,000 years ago, 50, 100, it's like you're looking at geological time, and it reminded me of what is there when we don't interfere with it. This is what the planet intended for that place. And I also started to recognize the footprint that we as humans were starting to put onto the planet. I started understanding that our success means the kind of pushing back of nature, that there's a action-reaction. So generally, if you look at all my work, what I'm trying to kind of have the viewer experience is the other side of their lives, that we all get up in the morning and we all get in a public transit or in our car and whatever, and use the fuel that's for our house, but we don't understand the world that has to exist for that world that we inhabit, most of us inhabit in the urban center. So this was showing you those worlds in a way that you probably have never seen them, and in a way that make them accessible, that invoke maybe even a sense of wonder and the ingenuity of humankind, but also the troubling aspects of what we're doing as well. We've always taken from nature as a species. What's changed today is the speed and the scale of that taking, and this represents that speed and that scale. I wanted to show it in a way in excruciating detail, so I shot 8x10, 4x5, and made big prints. And so, the whole idea from the very beginning was that for people to understand my work, they needed to be in the presence of the prints on the walls, because that's what I was working towards. That's what I was thinking about when I was making these pictures.
The images draw you in by making you misunderstand what you're looking at, only to trap you there emotionally when you find out what it actually is. You're learning about the cleverness of our taking what we need from nature. And also you're learning about the devastation and about some of the very bad practices that we've had, how very clever we are about growing food, for example. Center pivot irrigation, brilliant idea, a stroke of genius, is just not sustainable. The way we do strip mining, the way we gather salt. Ed's message, which is not about pointing fingers or blaming anyone, it's spreading the culpability universally, including himself. These are part of the problem, are these pictures. And I think that's really quite wonderful.
This summer I had the amazing experience of working with a gentleman who had a helicopter and a great pilot, and he was able to take me through the Coast Mountains. And these are the kind of remaining glaciers from the last glaciation periods. But when I was looking at those mountains and the last bits of these glaciers, and the pilot was saying there used to be like 3 times that when I first started flying 20 years ago, and they're just going back every year, they're just getting smaller and smaller. And as the rock is being exposed and as these blue glaciers, I'm thinking, well, if you went there and touched that ice is probably was first formed 170,000 years ago. But when that's gone, it's gone. And there's a whole ecosystem and the whole life system below will change forever.
And I hope that people come away with a positive mindset that we can solve these problems that we've created so cleverly.
We have all the technology and tools that can solve the problem at our disposal. We've already invented it. There's already a solution. And that's where storytelling happens. If we all kind of start to say there's something worth saving here, it's a question of timing. Do we have enough time? I wish we were turning like what we are doing right now 30 years ago. it would have been smart.